especially if you are using scrap and using scrap at a very high scrap ratio, then definitely carbon footprint is much low. Like we can see at 85% scrap ratio, the carbon footprint is 2.08, and when the scrap consumption goes down, the carbon footprint goes up. When we see the carbon footprint in production of ferronickel or nickel pig iron, it's significantly high. Ferronickel, 30% produced from laterite ore would end up emitting out 45 tons of CO2 per ton of ferronickel, and similarly nickel pig iron would end up emitting 69 tons of carbon dioxide per ton of NPI. So definitely going forward, nobody would like to use such kind of a material in manufacturing of stainless steel. However, the problem is so much of scrap is not available. If we are producing somewhere like 65-68 million tons of stainless steel, what scrap is available is approximately 13 to 14 million tons. So the balance has to come from such materials. But the idea should be to work more towards scrap availability and making available clean scrap and look for better alternatives. It's a small comparison of scrap and NPI. So we all would like to understand that how these two are different. These have been compared on 4 different parameters: cost, quality, environmental impact and energy. Scrap, typically it could be less expensive, but it requires more processing. Ferronickel or NPI typically less expensive. Quality of scrap can vary largely depending on from where it is generated, how it has been generated, how it has been segregated. Ferronickel or NPI, it's quite consistent. Environmental impact we just discussed. Energy consumption in scrap it's low, in ferronickel it's very high. So these were some of the slides which I wanted to present in front of you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Agarwal. Please take a seat. We do a Q&A after the second presentation, if you're ready for that. Yeah, so I would like to invite Gerd now on stage. He joined the beginning of this year the Oric Stainless Group, a leading recycler of raw materials for the stainless steel industry. He is responsible for sales and corporate development. Gerd entered the field of stainless recycling in 2017 and most recently was the Vice President, Strategy and member of the Executive Committee of another international raw materials and scrap recycling company. During that time he also represented the recycling segment at the International Chromium Development Association Industrial Council. He's a well-known steel raw materials and recycling industry expert, and we had the honor to have him as a guest speaker during a conference a couple of years ago. So I would like to give the word to Dr. Gerd Pariser.
Thank you, Joost. Thank you for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good day. It's a great day to be here and to be joining the BIR as a speaker again. The venue that you mentioned, that's indeed a couple of years back, and it happened to be in Prague. Also a very nice venue, but it was definitely much colder back then, a little bit rainy. So I think here in Abu Dhabi we've got definitely a much better environmental surrounding and conditions to look at. Our topic for the next 50 minutes, recycled stainless, the key for green steel. And as I would like to come back to what our keynote speaker this morning said, it's certainly not a waste. And this is what we've been definitely in the stainless steel realm, been always trying for the least decade or more to bring in the minds of our customers, that legally it has to be called waste, but this is a secondary raw material and a very much sought after raw material, as you will see. And this that is bringing a couple of challenges. For starters, a little disclaimer, and then let's have a look at who are we, who is Oric Stainless. So the roots of our company go back to the 1990s, and since then we've grown to a globally active group which generates sales of over $1 billion and has a turnover volume of 600,000 tons. We operate in two main regions, so in a, let's say, home base from Europe, the Netherlands, Germany and Spain, and then for more than a decade ago we expanded into Asia, and where we've got a very good and strong operation in Thailand, and just recently we've started the construction works of our new operation in Malaysia. What do we bring to the supply chain? What is our role? So, the very central activity of a process, of a stainless steel processor like us, is to consolidate the volume flows of the many different suppliers, of which many of those are here, consolidate, do the quality controls, do the quality checks, and prepare a raw material mix for the mills that they can use directly in the furnaces, that arrives there just in time,